What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to an all-new edition of Odds Honest Truth. We're back for the 2022-2023 season. I'm Craig Gorbanoff, producer Craig, usually the man behind the camera. Sometimes I make cameos on the regular In the Money Media Network. Joined, as always, by the main man. With that, I think I finally learned how to do the point this way. Rich WIlhelm. You can follow us on Twitter at Seagars94, at Coda522, and of course, our lovely show handle at Odds Honest Truth, and follow the In the Money Media Network all over the place at In the Money Media. Thank you so much to all of our friends over at In the Money Media. I didn't tell them I was going to post this, but as someone who has full control over all of the channels, it's fine. I don't need permission. We got that. We got it covered. Rich, how you been, man? It's been a long time since the In the Money network has seen your face. What's new and exciting? What are we most excited about this NFL season?
We are most excited about disappointment every single year. I got season tickets for my JETS this year, and I get to watch it in person. The fire that's just going to burn down the stadium. So we'll talk about how it's going to start this Sunday, and it's going to be very, really, really bad for any Jets fan that's going, including myself. But besides that, I'm just living the dream. All my sports teams are going to crumble before my eyes, including my Mets. But here we are.
I think it keeps you humble, which is real nice. But yeah, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna keep the show nice and short, nice and simple. Obviously, it is before week one. We're recording this on Thursday, September 8th. It's currently 5:53 p.m. Eastern. We're not going to cover tonight's game. So if you're looking for groundbreaking analysis of the Buffalo Bills and Los Angeles Rams, you're not going to get it here. We're going to jump right in on Sunday. And what we're going to do is we're going to cover the spreads of each of these games. And we're going to give out a player who we think is likely to score an anytime touchdown. So we'll talk about the spreads. We'll give you a prop bet. And then we'll have a lot more analysis for next week. But we couldn't let NFL Week 1 pass us by without giving out a couple of plays and some analysis. So, Rich, without further ado, you ready to jump right in?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right. So this is from our – I'm not going to say our friends because they're not a partner, but I like the Action Network. It's a nice way to get all of your odds consolidated in one place and get some analysis here. We're going to kick things off with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. As you can see, the spreads are a little bit varied based on your different sports book here, but you're getting anywhere between 3.5 and 4.5 as a spread in this Eagles-Lions game. And Rich, we'll start off with you. What are your thoughts on this one?
So, just watching Hard Knocks, it's hard not to root for the Lions. They got a gritty coach and a nice up-and-coming, offense with, Amon-Ra St. Brown and all those other fun people. But there's no other team that did more than the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason. They literally upgraded every single position of need. The only wild card at this point to me is Jalen Hurts, which it's going to be hard for him to fail throwing to A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert, and even Miles Sanders can get in on the action. So I think the Lions are a team that could finish closer to 500 this year. I don't think they're going to cover the spread this time around. So I would go with the Eagles -4.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you. I think that the Eagles are probably a touchdown better than the Lions at this point. And I think, Jalen Hurts' is wheels. He can hurt you with his feet as well. It's going to make things really hard from a defensive perspective, trying to contain this Eagles offense when they can spread you out as much as they can with all their weapons. And then he can just take off and get those lanes, pick up 15, 20 yards real easily. I think this should be a pretty easy matchup for the Eagles, honestly, as much as I love rooting for the Lions and as much as I would love for my boy Jared Goff to get a bit of a redemption arc. I just don't necessarily think he has it in him. So let's scroll down to the anytime touchdown scorer odds. And as you can see, we have a pretty good list of characters here. I like this one. I like my boy Amon-Ra St. Brown. He came on real good as a weapon last season. I think the Lions are going to be in a position where they'll have to toss the rock. They'll have to throw the ball around. I think he's going to get a lot of targets. I think he's going to get into the end zone. And I like these odds here, +200.
I'm going to go right, not as good odds, but like I said before, Dallas Goedert, I think that he is a security blanket. And then, the +190, That's pretty good payout. Miles Sanders and Swift are the easy ones because they're running backs. They're more prone to score, but I like to roll the dice. So give me that security blanket in Dallas Goedert. And I love Amon-Ra St. Brown too. He's my little fantasy darling this year. So he's gonna get the rock. I agree with you as well.
Yeah, the little engine that could for sure. So a couple of plays there from Eagles Lions, and I think I hit one too many back buttons on that one. Let's head on down the line here and let's talk about the Saints and the Atlanta Falcons. Both of these teams have a little bit of a makeover. What's your analysis on this one, Rich?
I don't know what to say about the Falcons. As they're probably going to finish, if not last in the NFL, they'll be bottom 5 team. I mean, I love that they're trying to put like the wheels on it with Mariota, but they have no one. I mean, Calvin Ridley is out for the year. Drake London's not 100%. It's gonna be a long season for these Atlanta fans. The Saints on the other side, they're getting help. Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara, and I'm a Jameis Winston fan. I say that every single year. I think he can throw for 5,000 yards. He's gonna have 30 interceptions, but he's gonna throw the rock. So give me the Saints in this one, and I will take the -5.5. I think they're definitely a touchdown better than the Falcons.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, especially about Jameis Winston. I think, listen, his time in Tampa was up and down. He got to learn from Drew Brees. He's now getting into this system. I think he's going to get a lot of yards. I think he's going to be able to sling the rock. I think he's going to have a pretty successful season in a division that's turbulent, to say the least, right? The NFC South is always like all over the place.
Well, minus the Buccaneers, because Tom Brady refuses to die.
Well, yeah, but eventually he will retire, and eventually we'll get unseated. Let's head on down to the touchdown scorer props. This is definitely the easiest one, Alvin Kamara. Maybe you parlay that bad boy with someone else that feels a little bit riskier, for lack of a better term. But who else do you like here from this list, Rich?
Well, I mean, the one person that you don't choose is Jarvis Landry because he doesn't know how to find the end zone. I mean, he's going to get you like 80 yards. Yeah, 80 yards, 6 receptions, something like that. But he's just not going to find the end zone. For me, I think a wild card in this game, legit, is Marcus Mariota. He has the tendency to just take it off and run with it. If he doesn't see his first read, he's going to start running. So at plus 291, give me Marcus Mariota. Because honestly, like I said, the Falcons are a complete, flip of the coin at this point. So I'll take the higher.
He really is the best option on the Falcons offense to get into the end zone. And you're right. Like when in doubt, he trusts his feet. He likes to scramble one in there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to scroll down the line a little bit. And similarly, I think Jameis Winston has been known for wheels before and could scramble one in, and some other really good odds here at plus 455. But this little Swiss Army knife guy, Taysom Hill, he always seems to find a way to make a play. And I don't know. I like these odds. It might be worth a little action on Taysom Hill to get into the end zone. It's not the most likely, but especially in a game like this against the Falcons, where I think it'll be pretty one-sided, we might see some creativity, out of the Saints offense.
He is a vulture. If you have, Alvin Kamara, he's your worst enemy. So
yeah, 100%. Let's head on down the line to our next matchup here, and here we go. We talked about it before. It's the New York Football Jets against the Baltimore Ravens. As you can see, there's a lot of different odd options here, but they're all primarily a full touchdown. I know it says -4.5 plus 4.5 here, but most of the odds you're getting right now are at 7. So let's do this analysis based off of that, Rich. Over-unders at 44.5. Ultimately, I don't want to bet this game, just in general. Just let's start with there. But from a spread analysis, I don't like Joe Flacco anymore. At one point, he was my guy when he was, in his prime in Baltimore. I'm not a believer in Joe Flacco. As exciting and young and talented as this Jets offense looks, until Zach Wilson is in there, I'm pretty much staying away from the Jets from a betting and fantasy perspective. And then when you look at the other side of the ball, Lamar Jackson is just such a weapon. Mobile quarterbacks have always been devastating to a New York Jets defense, and they have the ability to hurt you in more ways than one. So I like the Ravens -7 here.
Yeah, I mean, same. And we say it every single year. The Jets cannot cover tight ends. So for me, it's not an anytime score. For me, I'm looking at 2 touchdowns, and I'm going to be going with Mark Andrews on that. Plus 624.
It's fantastic odds. And I agree. Jets can never cover tight ends. I couldn't even really tell you who's starting at safety right now.
Well, they got LaMarcus Joyner, who's 140 years old.
Yeah.
And then they got, Jordan Whitehead, who might be good. He's, coming from the Bucs. He might be serviceable, but Mark Andrews is just going to tear it up.
He's an elite tight end at the end of the day. And, it's a weakness in the Jets defense. I like this a lot. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be shocked if this one happened too. Lamar Jackson on the ground twice.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked.
I would do at least an anytime touchdown for Lamar.
Yeah.
The person I would not bet in this game is actually Bateman, just because he's being shadowed the entire game by Sauce Gardner, who he's never given up a touchdown. In the preseason, he didn't even give up a reception. So for me, I think it's really risky to go with Bateman in this game.
There was a string of games too where Sauce Gardner wasn't even targeted. His coverage was so good. Yeah. I think it was the first 2 weeks of the preseason.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, if I'm betting people to score, I'm going on the Ravens side of the ball. If you want to go odds wise, I mean, you can pick between the running backs. You can pick either Carter or Hall. Carter's technically starting this game, but that Breece is probably going to get the majority of the snaps. So I wouldn't bet any Jet. Let's just put it that way. Maybe Uzama. I mean, that's really good odds, 445.
I think that's really good odds for an elite tight end in a game that could end up in a garbage time type of situation. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if Uzama got into the end zone down 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Yeah. I mean, I very much can see that happening.
I'll put it this way. I don't think they're going to lose by 28, but I think they lose by at least 14.
I didn't say they'd lose by 28. I said they'd be down by that.
Oh, so they're going to lose by
garbage
21.
time.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, don't bet any Jets. Just bet Mark Andrews and double your money this week. I wouldn't even do the spread. Like revenge games, I hate. Like Joe Flacco is he's gonna at least try to have revenge. Probably not gonna work, but revenge games are always weird.
We have the defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals facing off against the new look Pittsburgh Steelers. Mitch Trubisky at the helm.
Mitch Trubisky, yeah.
Against my boy Joe Cool, Burrow. And what really is just an incredible Cincinnati Bengal team. The spread's at 6.5. Honestly, I think the Bengals cover this one easily. I see them winning by at least 10.
Yeah, I agree with you. Bengals, coming off of the Super Bowl appearance, they should have won that game. They didn't, lose a lot. They have, Joe Burrow another year under his belt. Mixon came on last year and showed that, he's not ready to go away anytime soon. The Bengals offense is just insane. And the Steelers offense could be insane. I think they upgraded at wide receiver with Pickens, getting rid of Juju. I think Pickens is going to be really good coming out of Georgia. For me in this game, even though every time I say it, it doesn't happen, I would actually package Mixon and Harris into an anytime touchdown parlay. I feel like they definitely have the highest odds to score. Mixon, minus 124 isn't fantastic, but if you add up, plus 125 to that, your odds are a little bit better. So that's what I would do. I would package the running backs here.
Yeah, I like the running backs. I also I really like Boyd as well. I think he's a really solid option for Burrow, and he likes throwing his way. There's a lot of other weapons to be concerned about with the Bengals, and sometimes that number 2 receiver can sneak in there. I like the odds here. My question for you is Jamar Chase, does he have a sophomore slump this season?
I don't see how he could. I mean, he's a freak in nature.
Well, the only way he could is because his rookie year was so stupidly incredible that if he just has like a good season, it would be a slump. But his chemistry with Joe Burrow is unmatched.
Yeah, he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver this year, no doubt.
No doubt. Let's move on down the line. I told you we're going to try and keep it fast as long as my my trigger finger here cooperates. We have the New England Patriots against the Miami Dolphins. Patriots 3.5-point underdogs. I don't know the last time this has happened in an NFL season where the Patriots are underdogs. Maybe it happened last year. I don't know. I'd have to look at the stats. But it's been a long time coming. I like the Patriots here. I don't like the Dolphins this season. I don't like Tua. I don't like any of their weapons, really. I don't know. I'm not really sure how this spread came to be, but I think the Patriots are going to win this one. So I'm all over plus 3.5.
So, I mean, the reason for the spread really is Tyreek Hill. You know, they added Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill is not going to be the same guy he was in Kansas City. And the Patriots really didn't do a lot to upgrade their offense. I mean, they added Devontae Parker. You know, they have Jacoby Myers and Kendrick Bourne and, you know, a mismatch of people at running back. If it's Harris, if it's Stevenson, you know, it's just, for me, despite all what I just said, I think the Patriots are going to cover the spread. I don't know if they're going to win, but they very well could. I think
if they lose, it's not by more than a field goal. So I love the plus 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
And your point about Tyreek Hill, you know, he's an incredibly fast, incredibly talented player. But if you don't have Mahomes thrown at 80 yards down the field, I don't know what that speed is going to do for you. I mean, Tua does not have the same arm talent that Mahomes does. It's just it doesn't even compare. So I don't necessarily see how it's going to happen. The other thing with the Patriots is they'll take Tyreek Hill out of the equation. Belichick will figure out how to take Tyreek Hill out of the game completely and make Tua win another way, and I don't think they're going to find another way to do that.
Well, you had perfect lead-in for who I think is going to score the anytime touchdown.
Let's scroll on down the line here.
His name is Jalen Waddle at plus 190. You know, like you said, they always take one person out of the game. So for me, it's a choice between Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki. But it seems like the Dolphins don't really like Mike Gesicki right now because he was trade bait and everything else. So for me, I'm going to go safe on this because it's a division game, and division games are as weird as, you know, revenge games. So I'll just double up my money, please, with Jalen Waddle at plus 190.
Yeah, I don't feel too safe with anyone because these offenses are both so cast of characters-y, for lack of a better phrase. Not a lot of star power outside of Tyreek Hill. So like the approach, we'll both say Jalen Waddle for your anytime touchdown scorer.
Yeah, if you want a Patriot,
crazy.
Yeah, if you want a Patriot, go Hunter Henry because he went on a tear last year of consecutive games with touchdown plus 260.
Hunter Henry's your guy.
He's my guy. I don't know why. I have no idea, and I didn't take him in any leagues this year. So
we got the Jacksonville Jaguars facing off against the Washington Commanders. No longer the football team; they're the Commanders. The spread right now is at 2.5. Commanders in command. I'll be using that pun all season. Thank you. I have to kind of agree with the line here. I like the Commanders. You know, I've always liked Scary Terry and Antonio Gibson. They got the new quarterback this season. Should be an upgrade over whoever the heck was starting last season. I forget. Tyler Heineke.
Yeah.
Heineke. You know, I and the Jaguars, until they prove to me that any of their young players are going to take a step up, I'll bet against them. So I'll take the Commanders.
I mean, same thing. I really like. I don't love the Commanders, but I do think that Carson Wentz is an upgrade, like you said. I don't like Carson Wentz at all. I'll throw it out there. I think he's a weird dude, but I think he can throw the ball to Terry McLaurin. I think he can drop it off to Antonio Gibson and, you know, Logan Thomas and just have a fun time. But, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, I don't want Trevor Lawrence to be good just because obviously I'm a Jets fan and he's going to be compared to Zach Wilson for his entire career. But I mean, obviously the Jags are going to win more games than they did last year. It's just, it won't be this one.
Yeah, I agree with you. The other thing too to consider is Commanders have always been good at being able to get after the quarterback. They built that team kind of from the inside out. I think they'll be able to get a lot of pressure. For your anytime touchdown scorer, though, obviously the top two guys we talked about are right here. I do have a hard time believing that neither one of them would get into the end zone. There would be like my sort of safest picks. But who do you like in this game, either on the Commander side or on the Jaguar side?
I mean, I got to go with the other guy I mentioned, Logan Thomas. I mean, Carson Wentz has a thing for tight ends, if you haven't noticed. I mean, he loves his tight ends. If I'm actually betting this game, I'm going Antonio Gibson because I like free money. But if I'm, trying to roll the dice, plus 294 for the security blanket, give me the tight end most games, especially in a game where it's his first game and he's got to show up a little bit. His tight end is probably going to be more open than Scary Terry will be.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. This guy's also pretty intriguing. The old man Marvin Jones. Yeah. I don't know. I just like him. He always finds a way to get into the end zone. I just like him. That's a bit more of a gut play.
Underrated. He's underrated. Yeah.
Remember when he scored like, I don't know, was it like, did he have 5 touchdowns against the Jets? Was that him?
I don't think that was him.
Or not 5 touchdowns. There was 5 touchdowns in the game. He maybe had like 2 or 3 of them.
We won that game. That's all I remember.
We did win that game. But it was nuts. San Francisco 49ers. It's a new era, right? No more Jimmy G against the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears. It's -7 for the 49ers. And I got to be honest, this is one where, as much as I don't think the Bears are a particularly good team, I don't necessarily know what to expect from Mr. Trey Lance from San Francisco. So I kind of like the Bears plus it's +6.5 here. If it was +7, I'd feel better about it. If you can get +7, I'd feel better at +7.
Justin Fields to me, I can't bet for him at this point. Obviously they lost their number 1 wide receiver in Allen Robinson. You got, Darrell Mooney right now being the number 1, and I just don't think that they have the firepower to keep up. The 49ers defense is, one of the top.
It's a beast.
Yeah, Debo's back. All you really have to do is drop it off to Debo, Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell. I mean, they just have people that can take the ball and run. So for me, that's why I'm going the 49ers. I think Trey Lance doesn't have to do a ton. He can do quick slants the entire game and he'll be fine. And, anytime scorer, I always have to go with my man Debo. Plus 145. It's easy. It's free money. I don't, there's no other way to put it. It's free money. He's definitely going to score his first game after getting paid. He's going to be flashing the Johnny Manziel in the end zone. So just take the free money in this one with Debo.
I totally forgot about Johnny Manziel, and I just watched that
Netflix
the Monte Teo Netflix thing, and he showed up at the high zone. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel. What a character he was.
Mike Evans' favorite quarterback, ironically enough. He plays with Tom Brady, but he said Johnny Manziel was his favorite quarterback.
Hey, whatever. Different strokes for different folks.
Yep.
We mentioned Mooney before. I think he has the possibility of getting in the end zone, but yeah, I would lean 49er here. Debo, maybe Ayuk. That would be the direction I would go in this game. Well, no, see, I keep doing this. I keep hitting it one too many times.
Really like to see Aaron Donald over and over again. I like it.
I mean, he's an incredible football player, Rich. Incredible.
He's a freak. Yep.
We got the revenge game here. We got Broadway Baker and the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Going to Cleveland or facing Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns are such a mess. It's such a mess, but the Panthers aren't any good. To me, this is I wouldn't touch it personally, but I can't imagine a scenario in which Baker Mayfield loses this game. Mm-hmm. So
that's all your revenge game.
Yeah, I would take the +4 if you could get it. I'm looking at the live odds, and this is
a pick'em right now.
Yeah, this is a pick'em. Yeah. I mean, I would go Panthers. I'd go Panthers if you could get FanDuel has +1.5. I'd go with that, but just to be a little saucy.
Yeah. I think I would go with this even if it was the other way around. If the Panthers were like giving 1.5, I don't see any way that the Panthers lose this game just based on Deshaun Watson's not in the game. I mean, he's the guy that you plan around. Baker Mayfield, he's going to go nuts. He's going to just sling the ball, and he's going to dump it off to McCaffrey, let's be real, probably 15 times. So, I mean, in this game, receptions for Christian McCaffrey, bet the over. I don't even care what it is. But, I mean, let's see it. What's the receptions for C-Mac? Yes. Easy. By halftime, probably. And this is another game where I would probably do 2 touchdowns, and I would go with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, between the rushing and the receiving, I feel like that's an automatic. Baker Mayfield's going to want that security blanket. He's going to have a few throws that you're going to be like, what is he doing? Why is he throwing it like that? Why is he throwing to the other team? But I think the Panthers win.
Yeah, we said before that revenge games are crazy, but there isn't a scenario in which Baker Mayfield loses this game.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep it at that. Let's scroll back on down here. We got the Colts. We got the Texans. I really don't want to spend a lot of time on this game because the Texans are just terrible. But I don't know. 7.5 is a lot. What do you think about this one?
Colts, 100%. I think the Colts are like dark horse Super Bowl team. Matt Ryan, for me, I mean, we can talk about some yearly awards if we want to. For me, Matt Ryan is going to win the comeback player of the year. I think you can mark that in Sharpie right now. It's going to be between him and Christian McCaffrey. And at the end of the day, Matt Ryan's a quarterback. And at the end of the day, Matt Ryan's going to be in the playoffs. Anytime scorer, even touching, Taylor, it's not even worth the juice is not worth the squeeze at -240. If you're going to do anything, you do 2 touchdowns with him. But for me in this game, Brandon Cooks he's one of my guys. Brandon Cooks, all he does is go over 1,000 yards every single year. And he's a really underappreciated, undervalued guy. He's at +175. So for me, that's almost as free as Jonathan Taylor is. If you want, plus odds, which we always do here.
Yeah, we like plus odds. I think. Yeah, this is just such a slam dunk for the Colts, and I would even consider maybe the first touchdown scorer with Jonathan Taylor. They'll want to feed the beast, right? And get the machine rolling.
Yeah.
Hit a bunch. So I don't know. That's my analysis of this one. We're not going to do too much.
Keep it simple.
Because it's pretty open and shut. Let's talk about the Raiders now with Davante Adams facing off against the Los Angeles Chargers.
The whole AFC is scary, and I hate it. Like, why couldn't this happen to the NFC? Like, if the Jets were the Giants, we would be in the playoffs with Joe Flacco. I'd be like, let's go. But never going to get in the playoffs.
No, this is a very, very tough conference. Chargers are -3.5 right now. The Chargers are another kind of like, I would call them like a dark horse Super Bowl contender, right? They have a lot of good pieces in place.
Yeah.
They have a powerful offense, a nice young quarterback who over-delivered last year. But they do need to gel, and Justin Herbert kind of needs to show that he's going to take that step forward. And at the other side of it, the Raiders are a team that they always play really hard. And the added weapon of Davante Adams, right, is a game changer. And they do have a quarterback who can sling the ball around. He's a bit of a downgrade from Aaron Rodgers, but he can sling the ball around. A bit. Yeah. I'm coming up with some new catchphrases this season. That's one of them. So I don't know. This game to me is a bit of a toss-up. The way my gut's leaning is I like the Raiders +3.5. I think the Chargers do win, but I think it's going to be by a field goal.
All right. I mean, last year this game was weird because this game is the one that the Raiders were trying to tie, and the Chargers coach said, we don't want to tie. We'll just lose. But I mean, I think the Chargers cover. I mean, the Raiders on paper, they should win this game. But, for me, I think the Chargers are going to come out swinging. I really like, obviously, Herbert Williams, Allen, Eckler. Their defense is upgraded. Bosa's going to be, running wild. And I don't even think they're a dark horse candidate anymore. I think they're the favorites to
They're
win
in there.
the division. So for me, if I'm going anytime touchdown, I'm going Mike Williams. I feel like, he's probably the best number 2 wide receiver in the league at this point. It used to be like Diggs and Thielen, but I think he overtook Thielen at this point. So for me, Mike Williams at plus 137. The other guys are too low for me to take.
I like Waller.
I should say I picked Waller. I already bet on Waller, but I was talking up my Chargers. So
talking about the Chargers. Yeah. Now, I agree. On the Charger side of things, I totally agree with you. On the Raider side of things, this guy's going to get triple covered.
Mm-hmm.
Waller down the seam. Might even get 2. I don't know. Yep. It seems like a no-brainer. He already has a ton of chemistry with Carr.
Yep.
I really like that Waller to get a touchdown. Let's keep the good times rolling, Rich. Let's get into the 4 o'clock block. We got the Green Bay Packers. We got the Minnesota Vikings. This spread is very close, and I don't think it's close. I think the Packers are going to win. I just think they're going to win.
Yeah,
Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers owns the NFC North, and especially in September, Aaron Rodgers owns the NFC North. We want to talk about the playoffs is a different question, but this earlier in the season, I like Rodgers.
Yeah, just the Packers have no one. That's the reason why the spread is so close. They have Christian Watson, they have Romeo Doubs, and they have Aaron Jones. And it's still I'm picking the Packers. I agree with you. It's going to be a complete crapshoot the entire year with who the Packers are going to, who's going to be the hot hand. My anytime touchdown, I'm going to go with Romeo Doubs. And you can go lower because he's a rookie. He's at plus 296. But I feel like he's going to be kind of the guy. He's going to be the go-to guy. Christian Watson, they drafted a little earlier, but I think Romeo Doubs is really linking up well with Aaron Rodgers. But the higher odds are because, the Packers really have no one. So, it can go to your benefit on the first game.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a by committee situation for sure. On the Viking side of things, give me Justin Jefferson. Guy's too good. He's
free money. He's going to
get one. He's going to get one. It's plus odds. If you see plus odds on Jefferson to get a touchdown, I think you got to go for it.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is in the 4 o'clock block. We got the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans. This spread right now is around 6.5. At the end of the day, the Giants just aren't a good football team.
Mm-hmm.
Just at the end, they're not a good football team. Titans made it very deep in the playoffs last year. When you got my boy King Henry in the backfield, it's something to consider. They lost some pieces, but when you have that monster running the football, and a quarterback who can make some throws when he has to, give me the Titans here. I think they're a full touchdown better. I don't think this game is particularly going to be competitive. What about you?
I love that it's minus 5.5 now. I would have took it at 6.5. The Titans are just probably going to blow the doors off. I don't even know why it's that close. Anytime touchdown. Love Robert Woods this game. He is the number 1 wide receiver in Tennessee now. He always cashed for us when he was on the Rams. He's very underrated. And I think I said that last year over and over again. Robert Woods, I think he's just automatic. On the Giant side of things, I don't even know. Barkley is the safe pick. He's plus odds. But he's been out for a while. So I don't think I would touch anyone on the Giant side. I would go strictly Titans on this.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I'm not sure what we're going to get out of Barkley this season. He's going to have to prove something to bettors and to fans. Derrick Henry plus 350, 2 touchdowns. What do you think? I think it's got a good shot.
It's definitely possible. Yeah. He's going to run for at least one. It's just, will they be up so much that he kind of takes the foot off the gas in the second half? That's the only concern that I would have. Yeah.
Yep. I have to agree with you. I'd consider it. I'll keep an eye at that line and see what happens going towards Sunday. We got a couple more games left here on the docket, Rich. We got Kansas City Chiefs -3 against the it opened at -3 against the Cardinals. Right now we're getting -6. Chiefs, to me, even without Tyreek Hill, are still one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
When you got Patrick Mahomes, there's a will, there's a way. And as much as I like what Arizona has put together, they're athletic and they're fun and they're creative. There's just something missing there to me, and I can't quite put my finger on it, but they're not in the same league as the Chiefs, in my opinion. I mean, they're both in the NFL, but they're just not the same caliber of a team. So I'm leaning towards the Chiefs here. I think in a shootout, Patrick Mahomes is going to win against Kyler Murray. And so I would take the Chiefs -5.5. I think they're probably going to win by a touchdown.
I agree with you. I mean, the Cardinals are just injured. I mean, they have DeAndre Hopkins, who's suspended. Rondale Moore is hurt. But you go at the other side of the ball. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster is probably going to have a very big bounce back year. Mecole Hardman's still there. They got Sky Moore, who's a really good rookie. Right now it's AJ Green versus the world. And last year we learned that that's not really good. Hollywood Brown obviously is their number one, but I wasn't a huge fan of him on the Ravens. So for me, if I'm going anytime touchdown scorer, it's someone I actually already bet. It's Zach Ertz. When in doubt, go with your tight end. Kyler Murray gets happy feet and drops the ball off a lot. So +230 for me would be the pick in this game. Honestly, on both sides, because there's so many wide receivers on the Kansas City Chiefs that really aren't number ones. Travis Kelce's way too low. I mean, -135, it's not even worth the squeeze. So for me, I'm going the other tight end with Ertz.
Yeah, I was leaning the exact same way, which is funny because if you're a longtime listener of any of Rich and I's programs, I don't like Zach Ertz.
Nope.
But to me, this is the one that makes the most sense. This is the only one that I would really consider touching. Zach Ertz +230. I think he can get in the end zone. I believe we got one more game in the 4:00 block to discuss, and that is the aforementioned Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Dallas Cowboys. Tom Brady's 4,000 years old. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. They're favored in this game, -2.5. It really doesn't matter what the Cowboys got going on. I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady week 1. So -2.5. Sure, I'll take the Bucs.
Same. I think the Cowboys did absolutely nothing in the offseason. They got a lot worse. And the Buccaneers, just kind of stayed consistent. They got a lot of injuries on their offensive line. But, they just swapped out Antonio Brown for Julio Jones because that's what they do, right? So, for me, 2.5 is fine. But bet the Bucs and bet it with ease. My anytime touchdown scorer is my baby, Dalton Schultz, of course. Every time you bet him, he wins. So, I would bet him with anytime touchdown. I would probably do his over in yards and receptions as well. Do a nice little parlay there. But, the plus money there, I love Dalton Schultz at +185.
Yeah, I'm also I like Godwin here as well. He's a good weapon. Brady likes him. He's good in the end zone. I think you have to account for some of these other pieces a little bit more than you do Godwin, especially when you get in the red zone. And Brady's great at finding the open man. Also, because I ended up with him on my fantasy team, why not Cameron Brate? Let's throw a couple of bucks his way.
He's essentially taking over the Gronk role, so I mean, why not?
Yeah, and he's actually a pretty good tight end. He's been successful in the past. He's good at getting in the end zone. He is the new number 1 tight end, so for Tampa Bay. So, and Brady likes his tight ends. So
he does.
This is actually pretty good odds for Brate here to get in the end zone. Sunday Night Football is upon us, waiting all day for Sunday night. And we got the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson and the Broncos, in a revenge game, of course, in primetime against the Seattle Seahawks. I feel like I got nothing to say here because Geno Smith is the starting quarterback for the Seahawks. So I'll take the Broncos -6.5 purely because I don't think Geno Smith is capable of winning a game.
Yeah. This is also Monday Night Football.
Look at that Monday night. Did I skip over Sunday night?
I don't think there is one.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah. No, I'm doing the never mind. The Buccaneers and the Cowboys is Sunday night. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't matter.
I'm just bad at reading.
We're talking bets. We're not talking semantics here. Just shut your mouth. All right.
Yeah.
The Broncos are going to cover this with ease. Geno Smith, throws like my 72-year-old neighbor over here. I wouldn't bet anyone on the Seahawks. I would bet literally probably everyone on the Broncos.
If you know what I would bet?
Interceptions, yes. What is that? That's not worth the squeeze. Maybe 2. If you could do 2 interceptions, or 3 or 5.
I don't see the line here, but yeah, I'd do a couple of parlays with Geno to throw a pick.
Oh, for sure. But anytime touchdown for me, I'm going a wild card. I'm doing Albert O at plus 240. I really think
I'm blind.
What?
I'm blind. Where is he?
Albert Akwu.
There he is. There he is.
So, yeah, I mean, he's the number 1, tight end. He's taken over Noah Fant's spot. I think that he's going to get a lot of traction early. He went late in a lot of fantasy drafts. I snagged him in almost all of mine. I think he's the guy. Judy and Sutton, obviously, they're going to be, highly picked as well. But for the odds, I like the plus 240.
I kind of like Russell Wilson to get one with his feet. I just feel like Russell Wilson's going to want to run one in and spike it and really just show Seattle.
Let's ride.
Yeah, exactly. And plus 390 is pretty good. So I'll take Russell Wilson.
All right.
As well. But yeah, I think the Broncos are going to win this one with ease and bring home the W to Denver. Nice. And with that, Rich, that's another edition of the Odds Honest Truth.
That was good.
Anything else you want to add to our lovely audience here on the In the Money Media Network?
Well, I mean, next week we'll have like reception yards and all that other fun stuff. It's just week 1. It's really a crapshoot. So, spreads are easier than player parlays, but anytime touchdowns are really fun and they pay dividends. You're going to double your money on almost all of them. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. And if you're at the game, I'll see you there. And I'll be crying in section 116.
Very cool. I can't wait to get to a game this season. I'm going to see Jets Dolphins October 9th. Very excited. Very excited. It's going to be a good time. So thank you so much, everybody, for listening to our little show here on the In the Money Media Network. This has been the Odds Honest Truth. Make sure to like and subscribe to the In the Money Media Network wherever podcasts or YouTube videos are watched, which is YouTube and then whatever podcast networks there are. iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, whatever. We're on all of them. Make sure to like and subscribe all of them. I'm Craig Orbanoff. That's been Rich WIlhelm. Thanks to Peter Thomas Fornatel, Jonathan Kinchin, Drew Coatney, and everyone on the In the Money Media team, including me, producer Craig. I thank myself because Pete always remembers to thank me, and it makes me feel special. That's going to do it for this week's show. Thank you so much for listening, and until next week, allegedly, that'll do it.